Hi, I'm Random Trashy, welcome to the channel. So today I'm going to be talking about optics. Again, this is a precursor to the rest of the video. It is a very personal thing. How you have your optics set up, how your gun is laid out or set up is going to be a very personal thing to you. What I'm going to show you today is a couple of different variations, different optics and a different setup that you could potentially run on a gun like this. This is my Tokyo Marui 416D Dev Brew. It's a very short railed rifle, so this rail section on the front leaves just very minimal real estate. The setup that I currently have on here is a M4 comp style scope, and then I've got the G&P D-Bal A2. I have that set back close to the scope because at the end of the rail it really does detract from the amount of vision that you have. It's almost like a bulky block at the end. So sat back in front of the scope like this, it still allows me to see over the top and have a very good field of vision over the top of this. So down the end you lose that visibility. Front and rear I've got some KAC style iron sights, and they are there just for the fact that if this M4 scope was to go down, get damaged, shot out, missed up, anything like that, that I can quickly whip this off with the quick release mounting and go down to my iron sights and still be able to engage targets, go through a firefight or battle. So that's how I have this set up. I really enjoy this setup. It works incredibly well for me. I have run some different variations previously. Before I run the D-Bal, I used to use one of these. This is a UTG Red Dot, and this is a very solid little scope. It's taken a lot of direct hits. Although there are some scratches on the front of the optic, it works incredibly well. You've got the illuminated reticle in here in red and green, and really nice solid adjustment on here as well. It's one thing I noticed, really nice clicks as you're making adjustments to the scope, and it doesn't really seem to lose any type of zero. So this is a nice little scope. Also used one of these Hawk Sport dots on a razor, and I was using this with the D-Bal, and I actually had that razor so that I could see up and over it. It doesn't quite raise up, as you can see here, as much as the M4 comp, and that is very noticeable behind the D-Bal. There is a lot more open vision through the M4 than there is over this one. The other bad thing about this, it kept misting up on me, and that is essentially why I replaced it with the M4 comp. Moving things about on the rail, you can bring the scope where mine sits further forward, you can have it further back. They always say to have it over the bore of the barrel in real steel terms. To be completely honest, for me, it's where it's comfortable for you, where you've got the best eye relief, where you've got the best vision through it. I think that every person is different, the way they have their gun, distances, eye relief, all that sort of thing. Optical clarity is picked up differently by different people, so just have it where it feels most comfortable for you. Quite a common setup with these M4 comps and also with EOTechs that a lot of people seem to use in the airsoft scene is to use a 3x magnifier. And I've got one here that was sent out to me by the guys over at Thomas Jacks. This is from a company called Samson. They are based in the US. Really nice little hard case for this, as you can see there, with a nice foam insert on the inside. Really is going to keep this optic nice and protected. Now, the difference between airsoft optics and when we're talking about real steel optics obviously is the price. Now, what are you getting for that higher price? Because there has to be a difference between the two, right? And the biggest thing is the optical clarity. The build quality on some of the airsoft variation copies, whatever you want to call them, can be quite good, but when you are looking at a real steel item, the way that they are machined, manufactured, created, the way that the quality control works, there is a much higher standard of quality control on these scopes than there is on these, and the optical quality is very different. I will put up a couple of screenshots now, or a few pictures, just through these lenses so that you can see the M4 comp, even the one that I've got on here, which is quite a high spec model, or as good of a replica as I could find, does look quite milky in comparison to this, the optics on the Samson, and that is just down to the glass that's used, the manufacturing process. We talk about the glass of an optic, especially when you are looking at rifles that are above, say, 6 power. That's really when you begin to see how well an optic is made, is when you've got that zoom on and you look into the distance, it looks a little bit milky or hazy. That is because of the quality of the lens, and scopes can go all the way into the tens of thousands if you are looking at high powered rifle scopes. Here we're just talking about basic accessories, but this Samson scope is very, very nice, really nice quality. It's got a quick release Picatinny mount on the bottom of here, so it's very easy to get on. You literally just snap that on like so. I did want to show it to you all on the weapon, but at the same time I really did not want to begin to start moving all of this stuff around. The way that it's set up at the moment is absolutely perfect. I don't think I've ever had a gun so well set up with regards to the point of where the scope is, the point of where the point of impact is for how that all aligns, and the correlation between my IR laser is set up bang on the middle of my red dot on the scope, so it's just set up perfect. So what I wanted to just show is that this would sit on the rail behind here. Ideally you would move everything forward a little bit, and then what you have the capability of doing is using the 3x scope, or you can also flip that over to one side. I think you guys have probably seen these, they're quite fairly common, and you can also snap that back for the 3x zoom capability if you want to. Another very popular scope setup at the moment is the Short Dot. There are quite a few of these out there, quite a few popular brands. A lot of the Airsoft ones that I've seen aren't great when it comes to quality regarding the glass. The bodies are quite nice, but when it comes through to the optical quality, they're not that good. Now this is the UwJQaV scope. It's a 1 to 4x zoom, 24mm optical lens or objective lens, and the quality of this glass is phenomenal. When I put this on 4x in comparison to my sniper rifle on 4x, and I will put a picture up now, you can see the optical quality from the Jaeger is much far more superior. So when looking far into the distance as well, you really do see that this has much less haze, less of that milky kind of overlay, and this got some nice features on it as well. My sniper scope, when you have to unscrew the caps like so to do any sort of adjustment, there is just a coin slot in the top of here. There's no numbers for any type of recognition of where the scope is. So you know, with this you could, you know what number your scope is set to in regards to your height of elevation, and then your left and right, you can set it, write it all down, you can move this scope between guns, and then you just know that you jump straight back to those numbers. Whereas on some of the lower end sniper scopes that are out there, and even some of the lower end airsoft scopes, there is no numbers around here to give you any type of reading as to where the scope is based. So that's a really nice feature of these, plus you get the caps to cover these up, so they don't get adjusted when you knock them or throw them in and out of a bag. This has an illuminated reticle with, I think it's 8 levels of brightness. The nice thing about this, and you'll probably see this with the airsoft orientated scopes, is that they're normally too bright even when they're on level 1. This goes right down to a really low overlay of colour, so it's just very, very dull. This also has a night vision mode on it as well, so if you do clamp your night vision scope to the back of here, then you can do that, and you can put it on night vision mode and you're still going to be able to see that reticle nicely illuminated through this. So this is a nice option. Again, you know, you would probably be better if you've got a little bit more rail real estate, but again, doesn't take up too much more room than what is on there at the moment. So you may have to just budge that D-barrel forward a little bit to run it on a short barreled rifle like this. So that's a few different variations of setups. You know, the real steel stuff is made much better, the glass qualities is much, much better, but obviously you do get that price tag attached to it. If you do want to check out any of the products that I've mentioned today, you can do that by going over to the Thomas Jacks website and checking that out. And if you do want to look for links for going to purchase any of these products, I'll make sure there are links in the description below. There are a ton of videos covering all of the products from Thomas Jacks, lots of night vision stuff, actually bolt night vision to the back of that. If you are interested in this, just make sure you head back to the channel. There's tons of videos on there on night vision, thermals, snap-ons, clip-ons, everything that you're going to need. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Please feel free to give me some feedback, some comments below. Let me know about the setups that you guys run. You can always send some pictures of your guns and the way that they are all railed up over to my Facebook page, and that's facebook.com/randomtrashy. Always interacting with people on there and featuring people's profiles and that sort of thing. Hopefully that's taken you through a few options that you could potentially have with your airsoft gun. Any questions, comments, feedback, anything like that, make sure you put it in the comments box below. A like or subscribe to the channel is always much appreciated, and you can subscribe quickly by clicking on the subscribe button in the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks for Thomas Jacks for sending me out all this great equipment, and I will see you all soon.